Welcome to our first episode of the podcast we've been planning for a while now,
hmm
but we never got around to it. I'm Pluto.
I'm Jupiter.
Um, this is the first episode of A Room in This World.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Sound effects.
Um, oh yeah, we'll get some sound effects at some point.
Uh-huh. hmm Okay, so
Yeah.
this podcast is about apparently anything we want. So from books, movies, politics, psychology, just pretty much anything we want to talk about for anyone.
Yeah.
hmm
Anything we find interesting, I guess.
hmm
We decided that the first episode is gonna be about a book that we both bought together called History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera.
hmm
And we both read it and annotated it and made a review, which we're today going to discuss and get our opinions out. You might, if you haven't read the book and you want to read the book, there's going to be full of spoilers.
hmm
Should we just read the back as the summary? So, yeah. The back of the book reads Griffin has lost his first love in a drowning accident. Theo was his best friend, his ex-boyfriend, and the one he believed he would end up with. Now, reeling from grief and worsening OCD, Griffin turns to an unexpected person for help, Theo's new boyfriend.
But as their relationship becomes increasingly complicated, dangerous truths begin to surface. Griffin must make a choice: confront the past or miss out on his future.
So we made breakdowns of the book, both of us, and we have discussed it like a little bit previously, but most of
Mm,
it I think is gonna be new.
I hope so anyway.
Uh, it's been a while since we read the book, I think.
hmm I yeah, I wrote the review on the 11th of May, so it's been a month.
Okay, it's been a month, and I think you read it before I did.
Yeah,
Should we just start off by explaining the structure or what we thought about the structure?
you can go first.
Okay. Well, of structure, I wrote that the book follows two stories chronologically, with um the main person's past and his present. And they call like the past history and the present they call today.
hmm
And then starts off on today, Monday, November 20th of 2016, which is the day of Theo's funeral, which is the
hmm
main character's ex-boyfriend. So basically, the main character is Griffin Jennings. Also, we call him Griff. Well,
hmm We don't call him that. Everyone
yeah,
else.
we don't call him that. I like to call him that, but apparently just his ex-boyfriend can.
True. Don't overstep your boundaries now.
um, and he struggles with some OCD. He has this thing where he needs to be on the left and he's obsessed with things being even numbered.
mm
Even if he thinks of things, they have to be, if he thinks of two, three things, he has to like think of a fourth thing to make it an even number. And Griffin has two good friends, which are Theo and what's his name?
Wade?
Wade. Yeah, they're like a trio, right?
Yeah.
And then Theo, basically, Theo and Griffin becomes a couple, leaving Wade a bit out. And then as history, well, in the present, Theo died, and there's this guy, um, Theo's boyfriend, and his name is Jackson. Jackson?
mm. So,
Okay, Jackson. And they become kind of like friends. But those are the four main characters of the book. What about you do the plot?
Oh, of course, you want me to do that?
Well, I didn't write
Okay.
the plot,
To be
so
fair, yeah, to be fair, mine's a bit shit, but we'll deal with it.
yeah.
Okay, so the plot of the book is a bit. hard to explain, let's say, because there's two timelines. In the Today timeline, Theo has died, and it's about Griff and Jackson, his two ex-boyfriends, trying to cope with his death. And so Griffin, who's really hurt, obviously, because he's been best friends with Theo for years, and he still loved him even though they broke up and Theo got together with Jackson. So he's really upset about it, and he's upset at Jackson as well because he's jealous. So instead, they meet up and they talk about Theo and their memories with him, and for some reason that makes Griff feel better. So they start becoming friends basically, and by the end of the week, Jackson has to go back to California, which is where he's from, and where Theo went to university. So Griffin runs away from home and goes with him to see see where Theo died because Theo drowned in the ocean. And so Griffin goes back and sees Theo's memories with Jackson, and they bond more.
You could say that.
Yes. And then in the past or history, it's it's about how Theo and Griff got together. The first thing it starts with is them going to some flea market, and then they confess that they like each other on a train, and it's really cute, and they become boyfriends. And then they tell Wade, and he feels left out, and it's just about their relationship unfolding, and it's just really cute, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, mhm. Should I say more about that? I could, but I just
Yeah.
I didn't really read it. I just said it from what I remember. Mm,
Yeah, we have, but you have the whole plot twist with Wade.
true. I don't know why I just didn't say the plot twist. I was like, it's still not spoiling it. Um,
Spoilers.
wait, should I say about Griffin Jackson or Griffin Wade first? Griffin Jackson happens first.
Yeah, do
Okay.
that first.
So, ooh, page 223. Thank God for my notes.
Yeah.
As we're following the Today plotline, Griff and Jackson are bonding in Jackson's house, and then Jackson shows Griff four kisses. It was the butterfly kiss, a caveman kiss, an Eskimo kiss, and a zombie kiss. But these are the four kisses that Griff taught Theo, and it was supposed to be their special thing. And Griff was really upset that Theo did them to Jackson, and then when Jackson did them to Griff, he was really upset and he wanted revenge, basically. So he had sex with Jackson. Yikes!
Yeah.
And um, yeah, there's some aftermath of that.
Mainly that kind of showed both Griff's true colors and Theo's, because it was like a
Mm,
special thing they had together, and then he did that to his new boyfriend.
mm,
There's also the scene um in like the past
mm,
when Theo went to university and he got together with Jackson, and then he comes back, and obviously Griff is just still waiting for Theo,
mm,
and they make out. So basically, Theo cheats on Jackson with Griff, or
mm,
Griffin,
yeah,
and then basically tells Griff to wait for him,
mm,
which is dumb.
yeah.
We
That was
don't stand.
we don't stand that.
Um, yeah, you go on about Wade.
Oh, I feel like we should also mention that Griff broke up with Theo when before he went to college because he realized that he would be holding him back, or he thinks they couldn't make it long distance. I'm not sure why
Yeah.
he did that. yeah. Another twist that is happening is that Wade and Theo were talking. No,
Uh,
another
Griff?
twist. No, Griff. Yeah, another twist that happened is that Wade and Griff were talking. Theo had left for college by then, and then this is after Theo came back and kissed Griffin. Wade says that he thinks that Theo is using Griffin or leading him on by not breaking it off completely and asking him to wait for him. So basically, Wade confesses that he likes Griff and that he should have been paying attention to him and how he really cares about him because he gave him a Cedric Diggory keychain, which was favorite character in Harry Potter, and this was like contrasted by the fact that Theo gave Griffin a present, and it wasn't his favorite character in Harry Potter, right? Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So it was like a reveal that Wade was really the one who knew Griff all along, and he was the one who deserved kinda to be with Griff. So they
yeah.
have sex 5 times.
Yeah. Which was,
Oh.
when you read the book, a huge fucking shock.
Yeah, it was a plot twist. It was on page 246 on Wednesday, August the 31st, 2016. And I quote, I've had sex with Wade 5 times already.
Was not expecting it.
We weren't. And yeah, so basically, it turns out they really like each other and the relationship was going kind of well. And then Griff calls Theo to say, oh, I have something to tell you.
And he basically wants to tell him about Wade and himself having a thing.
Yeah, he says on page 253, hey Theo, it's Griff. I sort of need to talk to you about something big. It's not about us, I swear. That's a little bit of a lie. It involves us a little, but not what you think. Anyway, call me back. And he leaves this voicemail for Theo. And Theo opens this at the beach when he's with Jackson. And Jackson says that he went really quiet and he went into the sea alone. And this is when he dies.
And Jackson also hadn't told anyone that instead of going out to try and save Theo,
Theo. Mm.
Jackson got scared and instead ran for help, which he felt really guilty about. So learning this, I think Griffin felt guilty because he thought that it was his fault, his voicemail that led Theo to want to go into the ocean to be alone, and then Jackson felt guilty because he didn't actually try and save him in, like in the sense like going out to the sea, but he was scared of drowning himself,
Mm.
which is understandable.
So both of them feel guilty,
Yeah,
but they finally come back to New York where Theo and Griff lived, basically. And they talk to his parents, Theo's parents, and they're like, "It's fine. You don't need to feel guilty." And there's some sort of conclusion, I guess, to them both getting over the guilt of well, they thought they were the reason that Theo died, but it
yeah.
wasn't.
Well, I
Uh,
think Griff returned. They were like on an angry note with each other because Griff was angry
oh,
that Jackson hadn't run into the sea,
mm, yeah, Griff was
and I
like
don't think they became friends until like a
the end.
while after,
Mm,
towards the end. I don't particularly remember why they became friends again. I think they both realized that they can't really be guilty for Theo's death.
yeah,
And
and that.
then Wade had tried uh, to be nice to Griff when Griff was grieving, but Griff was just staying away from Wade and not really talking to him.
Hmm. This was because we didn't know it at the time, but it was because they both had sex, and then Griff felt guilty about it, so he stopped talking to Wade. But Wade didn't really understand why, and he tried to reach out, but he
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
But and then when was it that because Griff came to Wade's house.
Yeah. After coming back from California. Yeah, LA.
Yeah. Um and I think didn't they decide to take it slow or something? They had some drama, I don't remember.
Yeah. They had like a fight because Wade was like, "You're being ridiculous, like just go away," and he didn't want to see him. Oh, I think it was because he talked to Jackson, who like he hated, or Griff talked to Jackson, who he hated, instead of going to Wade.
Wasn't it also like even in death, Griffin chose Theo or something?
Yeah. Oh, that drama. I wonder.
There was something like that. I don't completely remember. But in the start, like he was like angry for something like that. But
Mm.
then they kind of figure out and they don't even end like the book doesn't even end with them being boyfriends. It's just
Mm.
more like it's a relationship they're taking slow and building it and not rushing it kind of, and it
Yeah.
feels like a really, really healthy relationship. Like Wade really likes Griff, and I think Griff really likes Wade, and they're good for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I agree.
So that's a pretty long, like, explanation of the plot. I don't think. Well, you could probably make it shorter, but there's so many scenes, some really adorable scenes, and then
Mm. They're really contrasted by the sad moments because you keep switching back and forth.
yeah, yeah,
I wanted to say at the end, Griff accepted that he needed therapy, and that was good, and I like that.
oh yeah, because like throughout all this, he still struggles with his OCD, and it
Mm.
seems like a difference between Theo and Jackson compared to Wade for Griff is that both Theo and Jackson, instead of helping Griff overcome his OCD, they they'd rather just not feed into it, but they like
uh,
if he wanted to go to was it the left of everyone,
yeah.
he'd just Theo and Jackson would move so that he would be on their left, versus Wade would push him more for the better
Mm.
so that his OCD could get better, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I was a bit conflicted
Hmm.
about if I liked the book or not
Same.
because it's a bit controversial. Everyone seems to like this book, and it's not like I don't like it. Yeah, like everywhere it's just good reviews. Haven't seen a lot of bad reviews.
Mm.
Um, it's just that there is not a lot of character development, and some of
Mm.
if almost all the characters are pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie, and Jackson in particular, like he didn't really serve a point to me.
Mm.
Like sometimes the story is very slow paced,
Yeah.
in my opinion, my humble opinion. But there are good things, some good parts. Like the book is easy to read. The words flow.
Mm.
It's not a hard read. It's not a hard read. But it is a young adult book, so or like
Yeah.
a teenage book, coming of age.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which we have to keep in mind. And I thought it was fun when they referenced like Harry Potter because obviously we're both Harry Potter fans
Mm, that is
and
true.
sci-fi worlds and all. It's always fun to be like, oh, I can relate.
But I also think that's a negative of the book because if someone doesn't know, then it's just like, why are you making all these references? I wish there was a
That is
bit
true.
more like not so focused on references, but that's like a conflicting thing for me because at the same time they're teenagers and that's what they would be talking about in real life. Like that's what we talk.
Yeah,
So I get why, but I wish it wasn't so like stuffed with references because it's a lot of references in it, if I'm
it
honest.
is. It is a lot of references
Mm.
and something they probably wouldn't, unless you're like big Harry Potter fans. Let's say you
Mm.
probably wouldn't get
Yeah. But
all of
you
the
are.
things. Yes. um,
Well,
I was also a bit with his writing, Adam Silvera. I wasn't a
mhm.
big fan because Griffin has OCD, and the author uses the word obviously and as I should excessively whenever Griff is on someone's left.
Mm.
Like it's always like they have to. He always writes. I don't think this is a direct quote, but it would be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, and I'm walking to Theo's left, obviously, or like as I should."
Mm.
With every time he said he was walking to someone's left,
Mhm.
I thought it was a bit too excessive. Not that it's a really big thing, like it's a small thing, but it
Mm.
kind of annoyed me a little bit.
I didn't even notice, but fair enough.
But there are some good quotes. I've written down some quotes that I really liked.
Mhm.
One of them is the "You're dead and I'm the worst kind of alive," which can, because it's about, a lot of the book is also about like coping and learning how to grieve.
Mm.
And I feel like that sentence depicts the grief that is like losing someone, that
Mm.
they're dead, but you're the one who has to live through the pain and suffering of losing someone you love,
Mhm.
which I guess a lot of people can relate to who have
Yeah.
lost someone.
Mhm.
And also, I said I didn't feel like there was a lot of character growth, but there are some places where there are character growth, and I think
Yeah.
one of them is in the sentence that's like, "There's nothing wrong with someone saving my life. I've realized, especially when I can't trust myself to get the job done right. People need people. That's that."
Yes, I really like that sentence too.
And I have a lot of quotes written down.
Come
Um,
on.
there's one more that I like that Theo says when, because Theo is, no, not Theo, I mean Griffin, when
Mhm.
he's on his way to California with Jackson, he's scared of flying, but he decides to fly there anyway. And then he thinks to himself, if I can fly here for you, where will I go for me? Which I think is really nice because it
Oh.
shows that, yeah, it shows that it's becoming more about himself as well, learning how to, I don't know, cope with what he's coping with and realize that he has to do things for himself as well.
Yeah, I thought it was like him putting himself first and him trying
Yeah,
to move on. It's not just him like being stuck in his grief, which he was at the start, but I think he was slowly getting like coping with it better and like he had a conversation with like Jackson about when do you think it's okay for us to move on and like someone else. And at that
yeah,
time we didn't know it was about Wade, but it's like that shows that he's actually changing as a character, I guess. So I like that.
yeah. I also have one, which I think is a very famous quote from
Mhm.
the book, which says, "People are complicated puzzles, always trying to piece together a complete puzzle. But sometimes we get it wrong, and sometimes we're left unfinished. Sometimes that's for the best. Some pieces can't be forced into a puzzle, or at least they shouldn't be, because they won't make sense."
I don't know write any of these quotes down. That's interesting. But I do like that one.
Yeah, I guess it just goes to show that people are complicated and
Mm.
yeah.
Puzzles is like a big thing in this book because it's like Theo,
Yeah.
well, essentially his personality, if I'm honest. He just loves puzzles.
Yeah.
And he just really likes doing puzzles. And Griff and Theo kind of like do puzzles together and it's like their thing and it's hella cute. Well, that's why I'm guessing there's so many metaphors about puzzles.
Yeah. I was also thinking I'm glad that it didn't have the plot that I thought it would have, because when I read the back as I was reading the book, it made me kind of demotivated because it says something. It says that Griff uh turns to an
Mm.
unexpected person for help, and that would be Theo's new boyfriend, Jackson. So what I thought was going to happen was that Jackson and Griffin would end up together, and it was just not it for me. Like I feel like that's super weird,
Mm.
and they're all like, "Oh, Thea would have liked us being friends." Like, I don't know if I agree with
Mm.
that, because like if I had a boyfriend and an ex-boyfriend, and when I died, the two of them got together, like I don't know if I'd like that.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's this really weird thing about Jackson looking a lot like Griff, and it's like a weird ego
Yeah.
boost for him. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, you chose someone who looks like me. It means you're still in love with me." You know, it felt really bit weird that that was a thing.
And it's also like, did you just have sex with someone who looks almost exactly like you?
Oh, it reminds me of that girl from Too Hot to Handle. Oh.
Ooh. yeah, it's just a bit weird to me, but I liked that the plot twist was that Wade was the one who liked
Mm.
Griffin all along and was a good match for him, and they had a thing together, which you didn't expect because in the book Wade didn't come out to, or we didn't know that he was I don't know if he was gay or bisexual,
Oh yeah, we don't know
but he
that.
didn't come out to Griff, but he came out to Theo,
Mm.
and so we didn't know Wade was gay, so it was quite the turn. But it makes sense, like when you if I'd read the book again and know that Wade was gay and interested in Griff from the start, you could
Mm.
definitely see kind of when you read.
Yeah, there's definitely some puzzle pieces there that you can put together.
Ooh.
Ooh. I think maybe that's why Theo might have gone into the ocean alone because like he knew that Wade was gay and Griff sounded happy on the phone. So I was thinking that's a theory that maybe that's why he was so upset or whatever because he knew that Griff might like Wade maybe or he suspected, but it's not
Yeah,
really like clearly defined why he went into the ocean. He could have just had a
it
bad
really isn't.
day. So
Yeah. But I feel like if they went to, let's say they went to the beach, I don't know why. I don't remember if it said they were going to the beach because they were gonna go swimming, or
mm,
because with the voicemail, there's nothing really wrong in the voicemail that could
yeah,
make a person just be like, oh, I want to be alone, therefore I'll head into the ocean. Obviously, it wouldn't
mm,
predict that he was gonna die in the ocean.
yeah, we don't
Um,
think it's suicide basically.
yeah, we do. Yeah, definitely don't think it's suicide.
Mm.
I did like that Griffin still could have a good relationship with Theo's mother, father, and sister,
Mm.
even though Theo was dead.
Yeah.
And all in all, I didn't like Theo that much as a person. I liked him in the start, but
Mm.
the more you got to know about how he was, like the less I kind of liked him.
Yeah, he was kind of dodge at the end.
A bit manipulative, I'd say, like making
Mm.
Griff wait for him when he
Yeah.
really, it didn't seem like he was gonna leave Jackson at any point.
Yeah, and I think Griffin realized that when he was talking to Jackson because Jackson didn't feel like he was gonna go break up with him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would, if I'd give a rating of the book, I'd give it probably like a 3 or 3.5 stars out of 5.
Same.
I think it's just it was a bit too slow for my liking, but the plot twist was good, and they had some good like values or like I don't know what to
hmm
call it,
Themes?
themes, yeah. And I think maybe for it is a young adult book, so maybe if I was a bit younger,
Mm.
I don't know. I didn't really cry from the book, which I think a lot of people cry from this book, and I didn't. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's supposed to be one of those like sappy young
Mm.
adult ones.
Yeah. It had like Fault in Our Stars vibe,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I'd say I like this better. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I read that.
I mean, I didn't finish reading A Fault in Our Stars, but I watched the movie and I cried
Really?
from the movie.
Wow,
But that's
controversial.
because it's because I learned before I got to that part of the book, I learned who dies.
Uh, that's a bit
So I
annoying.
was like, no point in me reading now.
To be fair, I think I cried more from the movie than I did from the book as well. So,
The movie is very sad.
it really is.
One time I almost met up with someone who looks like Ansel Elgort,
Who the hell is that?
a guy in Hawaii.
Ooh.
But then my Tinder was blocked. But that's a whole other story.
Ooh. Tune in next week, folks.
Tune in next week. Actually, we don't know what we're doing next time, so
No, who the hell knows?
who the hell knows? We'll do movie reviews and stuff. I promise
Yeah,
it won't be all reviews. It will be like other random stuff as well.
yeah.
But we're pretty good on time.
Yeah, I think so.
It will be so hard to do this when we're face to face because both of us are now in different countries.
Mm. Clue.
Oh, I mean, no, we're somewhere. We're in a room in this world.
We're on different planets, is what you mean.
Yeah.
I also thought, do you want to add anything else, like personal thoughts? I had one thing that I wanted to say, I think.
Okay, go on.
Well, I just had a thought. I don't know if I agree with this anymore, but back in the day, 1 month ago, I thought that it would have benefited from being longer because I felt like we didn't really just, care about Theo. And I don't know if I felt like if it wasn't in a non-linear order, is that what I called it? Yeah, if it was basically in a right, like the right order, I feel like we would
Yeah.
have gotten to know Theo better, and it would have really impacted us more. And I feel like we would have actually cried if we knew Theo
Hmm.
and Thorfinn and we knew their relationship, and it wasn't like, wow, he's dead. And it just felt like, oh, why care about him if he's dead already? I'm not saying that I didn't care about Theo at all, because there were cute moments. I can't lie that I felt nothing, but it's like we would have felt it more and we would have cared more if we
Yeah.
went on a normal plot line, I guess. But then the whole point of this book is that there are there's a non-linear structure, and you're like following it, and it's fun to read and exciting because there's like mystery and there's like plot twists. But I don't know, I just felt like the character work would have benefited if it was a linear structure.
I think I agree somewhat with it because I think we'd cry and be more impacted, yeah, if we followed the events from when it started and got Theo's death after we kind of knew who he was.
Mm.
But I think then probably the Wade thing wouldn't have worked out.
True, which is why it's just a suggestion. It's like a thought I
Yeah, yeah,
had because I really liked the Wade twist, if you could call it that, because it was fun, I will admit, to read. And like I was
yeah.
shocked for sure. And it made me really want to read the book again because I was like, I need to know all of the little instances when, there was like signs. But
Mm.
it like was a real detriment to Theo as a character, I think.
It really was. In the end, I think I only really liked one character, and that character was Wade.
Honestly, we stand Wade.
Yeah, the other ones were just a bit too boring.
But it was
Yeah.
nice to read something gay after ages.
That is, oh yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that because
Mm.
this is um one of the first books where it has some, I don't know how to say this without sounding offensive,
Go on.
but sometimes when things you read things and there's gay characters,
Mm.
it's a lot about the fact that they're gay,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not really mentioned in this book, so they make it more normal and like they're
Yeah.
in both in families that are accepting of the fact that they're gay, which isn't that doesn't really happen a lot in books, I don't think. That everyone's just okay with it. Like you didn't really see anyone being like angry or
Yeah.
yeah, immature about the fact that they're gay. Like even when we didn't know that gay we didn't know that Wade was gay too. um
Oh.
so and he reacted completely fine to the two of them being
Mm.
gay. Their families reacted completely fine. Like they were kind of the best reaction you could hope for, actually.
Yeah, I agree completely. I feel like it was people always talk about representation, but it felt good this time. It felt authentic. It felt real, I guess, to read
Yeah.
about.
Obviously, there it's good to have books where that isn't the case, where because for a
Mm,
lot of people that really isn't the case. But it felt more original because I feel like everyone else will do that approach where they will have something, will make it more present, I guess.
yeah.
But it was like a small little sub theme of the book, and I quite enjoyed that. They made it so normal,
Mm.
which is good.
Good for
I
Adam.
stand.
I honestly follow him on Goodreads, and it's actually like I really like reading his reviews because he's read all the books that like I've read, and it makes him feel
Ooh,
relatable as a author to me, and I really like that.
does he read? What's he read? The Mortal Instruments?
I think he might have. You have to go check later
Oh
because
my
that's
god.
one of the next books coming up. Hint, hint.
Yeah, hint hint. We're gonna try and do every book in the Shadowhunter
Chronicles, I think it's called.
Chronicles.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot. We're gonna have fun with that.
And Jupiter over here has read The Mortal Instruments
Mm.
before and Infernal Devices.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of them, but I do know a little bit because I watched some of the show and the movie.
Mm.
But after Infernal Devices, well, if we get that far, hopefully we do, it'll be completely new to all of us.
Which I think will be an interesting perspective because it'll be like a reread for me, who was obsessed with it when I was like 12, 13. But it's
Yeah,
gonna be a whole ass new experience for you, and it'll be interesting to contrast our opinions.
I'm excited to like have when we both have theories that we think will happen in the newer books and
Oh,
see if they come true.
but
That'll be fun.
the new series will be more like different characters, I think. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, there's the new plot lines probably, so we can just be like,
Mm.
ooh, what do we think was gonna happen here?
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean.
It won't all be books, by the way. It will be we'll
Uh,
do movies and a bunch of other stuff as well.
No promises, but our podcast, as we said, is about anything we want. So
Yeah. I think that's it for this time. We've been
rambling, yeah, we have been
rambling,
rambling.
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 And it's probably a bit unstructured, but this is only the pilot, the first episode of
Yeah.
we don't know how many to come, and soon when this global pandemic is over, we'll actually be in person doing this.
Which will be exciting.
And probably I think it's gonna be hard to not laugh all the time.
Oh, can't wait for those.
Can't wait. Okay, that's it. Pluto signing off.
That was not. We should have a like a sign off thing. If you know what I'm saying. Do you think we can
Like
make
a
it?
jingle?
Oh, yes, we should make a jingle and we should play it at the start and the end, or at the.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But no, I thought we should have a like like an outro phrase. If you get what I'm
Why
saying.
don't you just say bye? That's it for today, guys. Bye bye.
Boy, boy. No, I don't know. I feel like it should be like a pun about the planets, but it might be too cringe for me.
But do you have a pun about the planet?
I don't know. That's us orbiting away.
Oh my god. Okay, bye guys. We're gonna go into orbit now.
Yeet.
Yeet.